Some nonprofits treat donors like ATMs. They go out, maybe they will ask for money through email or direct mail and get it. It's like a quick deposit, right? It's very, very transactional. It works for a while, but every year they have to start from scratch. Other organizations, they invite donors to be in relationship with them, to be a part of something deeper, not just a gift, but a partnership. And these donors don't just give money, they give vision, they give influence, they give heart, they give because it means something, making the shift from transactional giving to transformational giving. That's our focus on this episode. Let's huddle up. Hey, welcome to another episode of Huddle Up with Mark the Fund Coach. I'm Mark Duncan. Welcome back. We are in our next season after a brief hiatus. I'm excited about the topics that I want to share with you this coming season. Very, very excited. It is September. It is that time of year where we start to hunker down and focus on fundraising, regardless of your financial calendar. In other words, regardless of your fiscal year, this is the time to hunker down, refocus, because there's a race to December 31st. And again, it doesn't matter when your fiscal year is, because that is what drives many donors to give based on the calendar year, which of course is related to taxes. So excited about this year and what's to come. Very excited to be back. Now, what is transactional giving? Very simple. Transactional giving is giving that occurs when an ask is made in mass. That could be an email solicitation. It could be a direct mail solicitation. It can be a 24-hour day of giving, right? Where you're making a plea not to one person based on a connection, a personal connection, but to many. You're appealing to many. Okay. Again, there is nothing wrong with this, just defining what transactional giving is. The focus tends to be on the gift amount and not the relationship. So let's take a pledge drive on public media. They will often give you examples of what to give: $5 a month, $10 a month, or make a one-time gift of $100, $120, right? Focused on the amounts. When you get a direct mail piece, something in the mail from your alma mater, what are they giving you examples of at the bottom of the letter or the insert, the call to action? They're giving you examples of how much to give: $25, $50, $100, other. Right? That is transactional giving. And what it does is it leaves donors feeling like check writers rather than change makers. But it is a necessary part of fundraising. So the shift, why does the shift matter? When you are engaged in transactional giving and you are building your donor base and you've got a sustainable stream of philanthropic revenue coming in, whether it's through one-time gifts or multiple gifts a year through recurring gifts, through monthly giving, you're building your base. And it keeps the hamster wheel running, and it gives you an opportunity that many will not realize. Donor retention is important. People leave when they feel unseen, and they stay when they feel like partners. And there's a greater impact when you have a few transformational partners, because they can often outweigh hundreds of one-time gifts and one-time gift donors. So we have to make that shift in order to create that sustainable stream of philanthropic revenue to support your organization. Because if you continue to rely on the transactional giving, which there are many organizations that will do this, and if you're one of them, this is important for you to listen to, because you want to make that shift from transactional to transformational, and you do that through relationships. You do that through building relationships. Now, the consequences of staying transactional are many. You'll be in a state of constant financial uncertainty. You won't know from year to year how much money you're going to raise, because it is transactional. People will decide. Now, recurring giving aside, which is a great way to go, but you don't want to just rely on that. You will be in constant financial uncertainty. You have a risk of burning out staff. You have a risk of burning out yourself as the nonprofit leader, because you're always chasing that next gift, right? It's about the gift. It's not about the connection, not about the relationship. We've all heard of donor fatigue. And this comes from the repetitiveness of asking and asking and asking and asking, especially if you are asking the same audience several times a year. And when I say several, I'm talking about more than 6. If you're going to engage in that transactional fundraising, it is important to do donor segmentation, so that while it may seem frequent internally, externally, you're targeting the audiences so that you're able to curtail your message accordingly and present them with an opportunity to support, even though it is transactional. Finally, there's limited capacity to plan boldly for the future. If you're constantly on that grind and you're constantly seeing the same results, no significant growth in philanthropic revenue, if that's primarily what you're doing, if that's all you're doing, and there are many nonprofit organizations, this is the primary focus. You could be one of them, where you are relying in terms of your individual giving on appeals through email, appeals through direct mail, appeals through social media, 24-hour giving days. Most of your individual giving is coming from that. The payoff of making the shift is powerful. You begin to build advocates when you start to lean into relationships. You begin to build advocates of your donors. They become ambassadors. I've talked in previous episodes about how you can create a whole ambassador program. They're not just funders. The term funder to me, and this is my personal opinion, I would never apply that term to an individual. I would apply it to a foundation. I would apply it to maybe a corporate donor or a corporate foundation, because in some ways there's a lot of transaction there. There's quid pro quo in some cases when we're talking about corporate giving, especially if there is a sponsorship tied to it. But individuals are donors, they are givers, they are ambassadors, they are a connection, and one that is passionate about who your organization is and what you do. You also get consistent, reliable resources, and these resources will fuel the long term vision of the organization. There's that sense of shared ownership when it comes to outcomes. Major donors love to hear that their gift made a significant difference on how it impacted the lives of the people being served. So, whether you're talking about gifts to support annual operations, you can lean into specific things that are funded by your operating budget that your donors can support in a big way and feel like a partner with you, the leader, to help the people that are being served by your organization. And a reputation as an organization that values relationship over revenue. Let me say that again. You will develop a reputation as an organization that values relationship over revenue. And with solid relationships with the right people comes sustainable, significant philanthropic revenue. So making this shift requires some work. It requires you to lean into those people that you believe have capacity and develop a relationship with them. You've got to make sure that you're changing your own mindset around this whole idea of getting large gifts from individual donors. There are intentional actions you need to take. There are new skills that you need to develop. There's a sense of confidence that you need to acquire. And this is where you come in, helping leaders and teams master how. So think about how you can acquire that skill. Maybe you can explore engaging in workshops, engaging in training, engaging in coaching. These are the things that are going to help you make that shift in a way that is sustainable, not only for now, but we're talking about the future of the organization. So, making that shift from relying on transactional giving that doesn't tend to have significant growth, and it's because it's transactional, it's because you're not relying on the relationship, you're relying on the transaction. And making that shift to transformational giving. And this comes through major gifts, which comes through relationship fundraising. And these donors that I'm talking about are already giving to you in a very transactional way. You're getting $50 from an individual who has the capacity to give you 50,000 because of how you're asking. You're getting $100 from somebody who has the capacity to give you $100,000 because of the way you're asking. So take advantage of the base of donors that you have acquired and lean in to elevate those who have capacity. And you can do this through wealth screening so that you can identify the people that can make that shift. And they're only going to make that shift if you ask them. I hope this has been helpful to you. I'm so excited to be back. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And as always, this thing that we do called fundraising, it's not about the dollars. It's about what the dollars do for the people that you serve. Thanks. We'll see you next time.